thank you for joining Pilates Down Under Fitness and Movement with me, Cindy. I'm here at Lock Sport in regional Victoria, Australia, where I'm inspired to share a no mat, no equipment functional movement Pilates session for only 20 minutes. Here we will battle the sun, the mosquitoes with a low impact, strong core and body workout for all levels. Remember, there's no fast and hard rules. If it hurts, don't do it, and if it's challenging, push through it. You know your body and your body knows you, so listen to each other. Remember, how you engage in your workouts will help create a healthy, balanced approach to life. Feel free to leave a message after this session and subscribe and find the joy in each move as we start our warm-up. Opening up the chest, creating that nice big C curvature in the spine, opening up the vertebrae. Really curl it in as we start to fold and release with each movement of this warm-up. We'll do this a few times. Keep your heels onto the mat or the floor. In my case, no mat because I actually left it at home. Open it up nice and wide. When you finish, just pedal it out, loosen it up. We'll do some real simple heel raises. Let's warm up the calves and the Achilles. It's here you'll start working on your balance. So really draw that belly button in, grow nice and tall, elongate your spine. Keep your shoulders down, look straight ahead. You only have a few more of these calf raises before I ask you to hold and glide down as if you're gliding down a wall. Hold this position as you open up your knees. Then tent your fingers, lower down your elbows and flatten your palms. Really create that nice big C curvature of the spine here. Tuck the chin in. When you're ready, you'll start gliding your hands forward, lower your knees down into that 4-point kneeling position or a quadruped, you might want to call it. Make sure your knees and your hips are in alignment and your shoulders are stacked above your elbows. We're going to extend one leg out. Make sure your hips are square to the floor as we lower and we lift for straight leg raises. I'm going to point the toes, make sure the leg's nice and long, almost like someone's pulling you from your feet, and you can feel that pull in the hip socket. Make sure you're pushing away from the ground with your hands. Make sure you also pick up the belly, creating that space between you and the floor. Neck is long. We roughly do about 10 of each of these exercises. We're going to float one hand up the opposite arm and we're going to do a double tap. So we're going to tap the toes and the fingers down onto the ground while you're balancing in a bird dog position. Really lengthen it. Try to make sure that hip doesn't roll out and you're squared to the floor. Arms don't have to come up too high, hips don't have to come up too high. We're really just still warming up. When you finish your 10, hold it there, and I want you to tuck and extend. So we're doing a bird dog tuck. Bring the elbows in nice and close, the knees are close, but you'll also notice that my spine isn't curving. I keep that natural neutral spine as I reach and I tuck. You'll finish the 10 quite quickly, but I do want you to take your time, work on that balance. And when you finish your last one, hold it up there and place your knees and your hands back onto the ground as we do a bit of a stretch. You can do a cat stretch if you like, you can do a shell stretch with me, anything that will loosen up any tension that built up in that last exercise. Okay, let's go over to the other side. Extend the leg, make sure it's nice and long, drop the hip down. And now we want to lower that straight leg down onto the ground and lift. So there's no swinging here, it's a controlled movement. As you start engaging your core, you'll feel the tension in that core section or the trunk of your body. Remember, your core is like a natural corset. Feel like someone's pulling the string behind you. Neck is long. And when you finish your 10, float the other arm up and tap the ground. Now, if you find this way too challenging, lose the leg or lose the arm, it doesn't matter. We're building up the momentum here. A few more of these, then you'll hold and you'll go into your tuck bird dog. Here we go. Fold it in and extend. Neutral spine. This is really nice. Probably the first fold of the day for you. Bending at the knees, bending at the hips, bending at the shoulders and the elbows. Flexion and extension. Really lengthen. Well done. Keep it steady. You've only got 10. Count your way through it. And when you finish, lower it all down. Curl your toes under, pull it back, give a nice stretch of the toes as you push your armpits down onto the ground. Really lengthen that spine. If you place the opposite hand over one side, you'll get a really nice lateral stretch as well as you're still stretching your toes. I really like this stretch. Really nice and long and lengthening. Okay, let's move on. Take the arms out nice and wide. Hug yourself in. And again, open up that chest. And give yourself a nice big heart hug. Inhale as you do that. Then when you're ready, go back into your quadruped 4-point kneeling position. Everything is stacked. Give yourself a nice big cat stretch and go back into neutral spine. Tuck the chin in, create that nice big C curvature of the spine, and then come back. As many of these as you need to do in preparation for the next exercise. Let's itch those mozzies away. Okay, I need to stretch a little. Let's start with leg curls in this quadruped position. So we do a leg curl here, and then what we do is a leg press. So bring the heels as close to the glutes as possible as you lift your knees off the ground ever so slightly. No pressure here. You'll get a really nice stretch in the front of the legs, and you're starting to wake up your hamstrings. A few more of these, and we're moving on to the next exercise. So curl the toes under, get back into that nice quadruped position, and we do some bear hops. So we slightly lift the knees off the floor and lower them down. You do 10 of these at your own pace. Really push against the floor as you lift those knees up. Draw the belly button in, keep that neutral spine. Everything is stacked. Curl those toes under. Excellent. Pull back and give yourself another stretch here. Really give your toes a bit of a working here by pulling and pushing back. Now we're going to do a half plank with a push-up. So you ripple forward into a half a plank, and then you're going to glide your elbows along your ribs, push back up, and then push back into your toes. So ripple it forward, lower it down, come back up, and push back. So as you push back, your toes get a stretch, get a nice lengthening of the spine, then you ripple forward, creating that nice elongation of the spine. The articulation, bone by bone as you ripple forward. When you get into that half plank position, be nice and strong as you lower yourself down and come back up. Almost like you're a stiff plank or a surfboard. Everything comes down and everything comes up. When you're done, and I'm definitely done with that one, lower one elbow down, the other hand is still up. Extend a leg up to the sky. I'm going to create those nice big circles. So side circles. Point, your hips almost facing me. You really still need to draw that belly towards the spine. And the elbow that's bent, you really need to push away from the ground with. You go in both directions, maybe 10 circles in each direction, but keep it steady. Then bring your knee in and tap your elbow. Almost like a side crunch. Now think about that extension. We want it nice and long. And that fold, bring those knees in as close to the chest as possible. Keep breathing and breathe through it. And then we're into high circles. So you come back on your palms, hips are square, and let's start drawing those circles. These are smaller than the side ones. 10 in each direction is enough. We really want to start moving in that hip joint. Don't forget to keep that neutral spine. A neutral spine is a happy spine. Push away from the ground and let's just stretch that out. Okay, let's flip over onto our back. Bring the knees in as I fight away the mosquitoes, and slowly peel down vertebrae by vertebrae. Let's go through our roll-ups. Now you can place your hands underneath your legs if this is too challenging straight off the bat. Use your arms as a guide as you peel up bone by bone. You're going to find that your feet might lift, and that's okay. So your chin tucks in and each bone peels off the mat or off the ground. Really be mindful of that movement and try not to strain your neck. You'll take your time with this. Really draw that belly button towards the ground. Now let's flip over to the other side. Start off in your quadruped for those high circles. So extend the leg out and draw those circles in the sky. Pretend your leg is one long pencil. Someone's pulling that leg out of the hip socket. And keep those circles nice and slow and controlled. 10 in one direction, 10 in the other, and that's already a lot of hard work. Because straight from these circles, we're going to go into side circles. A double whammy, circles after circles. Lower the elbow down, and then on a slight angle, you'll continue those circles. You're going to start feeling that pinching in the glutes, really extend that leg. Work through this, and then in the opposite direction. Great job. Excellent. And then when you finish that 10, you'll bring that knee into the elbow. Really crunch it. Fold at the hip, fold at the knees, you extend. As you crunch in, exhale. As you extend, inhale. Try not to hold your breath here. It will achieve nothing. So keep breathing through this. You're going to start to feel the glutes starting to burn. It's going to start to sizzle. Lower it down and give yourself a stretch. Stay on your elbows, curl your toes under, and go into a puppy, down dog, or a dolphin. So really pull those hips up to the ceiling, lengthen, push away from the ground, and then pedal it out. Really stretch that out. Drop the knees down if you can, or stay in that puppy or dolphin position. Lower the knees down, a really quick stretch in preparation for the next exercise. So we're going to do a few. We're doing a combo here. We're going to do that one leg curl. We're going to do that one leg press that we did earlier. And then we're going to do the bird dog. So these are movements we've already done together already, and we're just combining them together. So the leg curl, we pull that heel as close to the glutes as possible. The leg press, we only lift the knees up ever so slightly, so not too high. The bird dog, want you to extend as far as you can. You do not need to come up high. Get nice and strong, build the momentum, feel the rhythm. Your trunk area doesn't fold, nor does it curl up. Shoulder blades are square. Well done. Now let's go into some scapular presses. They're not push-ups, they're scapular presses. So lower your chest down towards the ground and push away. Getting really in between those shoulder blades, the rhomboids. Elbows are soft. Only a few of these. And And then let's flip over for a bit of ab work. Hands underneath the thighs or out in front, however you want to come down. Pick up both knees into a tabletop. Then you can place your hands behind your head, and I want you to do some really basic tabletop curls. Tuck that chin in slightly as you slowly peel up. Hips are square. Make sure those knees are stacked above the hips. Toes are pointed. Try to really create that really nice 90 degrees angle. Try not to cross your feet or place your hands underneath your glutes. This is not an easy exercise, especially in the tabletop. Extend the hands out in front or keep your hands behind your head. And we're going to do single leg extensions. You're holding that contraction, but you can lower your head down if you like. You can support the head or keep the hands out in front, but try not to strain the neck. Draw that belly button towards the ground. Really extend those legs. You don't have to come down too far. Just find your own groove. And I figured today, as long as I keep moving, the mosquitoes won't bite. So let's do some oblique curls while we're here. Really twist it. Create that Miss America sash across the chest. That's where I'm after. That connection from the shoulder to the hip. Really rotate. Work the obliques. And at the same time, you're working on balance, definitely, and strength. Coordination here might be challenging as well. When you're ready, and only if you want, you can extend the legs up to the ceiling or the sky and reach up. Hold that contraction if you can, but if the strain on the neck is way too much, then lower it down. Really no big deal. I want you to listen to your body. If it says too much, then it's too much. If it says go back to the original exercise, go back to the original exercise. If it says to stretch it out, just stretch it out. Okay, double toe taps. Lower them both down and bring them up. So we're holding that 90 degrees angle. The knees come back into its original position. So we're trying to tap away, not tap towards our glutes. You're going to feel the strain in our core as we try to keep it all intact. You can lower your head down if you like. A few more. This is an advanced movement. It's not easy. From here, we're going to do single. So one toe dips and then comes up. Pretend your toes are dipping in a pool of water. We're not really after a big ripple. Keep the momentum going, alternating left to right. Try to keep the shoulders off the ground if possible. Really scoop the belly in, knit the ribs. Keep breathing through it. Keep your toes locked in together as we start our knee openers. Really great for the hips. If you want and you feel strong enough, extend the hands out in front. Otherwise, lower the head down or support it. Many, many modifications to every one of these exercises. Keep scooping the belly. Lower the feet down into a really beautiful diamond. So keep the heels close to the center of the body as possible. Now I want you to press the soles of your feet together as you slowly peel up. Now the hands above is optional. I want you to hold this position, really squeeze the glutes, keep the knees out nice and wide as we open the arms and we close them. So we float them down and we float them up. Just a really nice controlled movement. Squeeze those glutes, let your knees just fall out. Really nice stretch for the inner thighs and the hips. Press the soles together and that will help you lift. You don't have to come up too high. You do as many of these as you can or hold it for as long as you can. Close the knees up when you're ready. Slowly peel it down and give yourself a nice big hug. When we're stretching, you can incorporate any of your stretches that you want. Now let's get the feet back onto the floor. Hands out to the side as we're lowering our knees over to one side and facing the other direction, giving us a really nice spinal stretch and a nice spinal rotation. This will release any tension, especially in the lower back. The majority of the twist is in our thoracic, a middle portion of our back. Okay, plant both feet down. Float the legs up into tabletop, slowly peel up, extend the hands out in front. You can do this exercise with your feet on the mat. So we've peeled up our shoulders, we're reaching forward. We're pumping our hands like we're bouncing a basketball. As we breathe through this, you can extend your legs up to the ceiling. You are not holding your breath here. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you can take it to a nice diagonal. Please try not to strain the neck. You can place one hand behind the head if you like, or you can lower it down onto the floor. Work through this by breathing. Hold it. Now grab the back of one leg and start your scissor stretches. Feel the stretch in the back of the legs as you pull that knee close to the chest. Great job. Now let's start picking up the pace. Draw the belly in, really scoop it. Shoulder blades off the mat if you can. Now try to, as you pull that leg in, you're not using it to hold yourself up. You're using your core. Legs up and a nice big straddle. Get that inner thigh stretch. Bend and place both feet down on the mat. Rock and roll it up. Glide your fingertips forward, get that really nice stretch in the back. Push the armpits down the ground, temp the fingers, get that stretch in the wrist. When you're ready, a really quick spinal stretch. Going left and then going right in your tailor position with your legs crossed, if that suits you. And I'm happy to say, we are done, skis. We're done.
There's too many more Ds.
Okay, we'll finish it up.
Have to get back to this spot here.
They're freaking everywhere. Oh, you got like 20 buzzing around your head.
I can see them. They're like...
We are right near the water, so would make sense.
They're big like cats. These mosquitoes. Okay, one more.
We'll finish it up.
Yeah.
Okay.